something I learned in this project was that this is a hard thing to do if you don't have the right resources, but luckily I had them. Put the marble here. This is 12.5 inches long, and from here to here it is 11.5 inches long, so it should be good. Start from here.
The criteria and the constraints. The criteria was it had to start from a stopped position, it had to travel a minimum of 24 inches, it had to travel uphill, had to change directions 5 times, and the base must remain stable, and it must come to a stopped position, and it has to be repeatable. So you start up here, the marble, held by nail, change direction 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It goes uphill here, comes to a stopped here. And each one of these pieces is like 10 inches long, so it's about 60 or 70 inches, if it works right. Alright.
And the problem was, gotta make a marble track that travels 24 inches. The goes uphill in this direction 5 times.
The constraints were time and supplies.
Let's just demonstrate this out. Hopefully it will work. And I'm going to try it 2 times. Of course, if it doesn't happen the second time, I'm going to do it a third. But I'm hoping it goes in the 2 mark. And if it does work, it will land in this trap. It's just like a wall kind of. So yeah. Yay! It landed on the first time, guys.
One real world connection is if you're like doing a construction project or something. There's turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes uphill right there. There we go.
Here is my marble run. Now I will do it a second time to show you that it is successful.
Alright, here you go. It goes up every time a little bit. Okay.
And here it is. And it needs to be repeatable. Yeah, so there it is.
This is my successful test. My name's Chloe, and this is my marble run. So it goes downhill here, uphill here, chooses which path it wants to take, then the change of direction is right here, and then it should bump against here, or this bump against here, and then fall into the hole.
So here's my marble run. That's 1, and then that's 2. So a connection to this marble run is, it kind of reminds me of a Connect 4 game or like something like that. I don't really know. And then what I learned is that making these are actually really fun and time consuming, but it's really, you're really satisfied when you are done making it. And it's pretty hard too. It takes up a lot of time.
The criterion constraints are it has to be 24 inches long at a minimum. It has to have 5 turns, or go 5 different directions. Has to go uphill. Has to start at a stop position and end at a stop position. And I will show you right now my marble run. Here is my marble run, and I'm going to put it down for the first test. Starts at a stop position, goes down, made it to the end. As you can see, it's at the end. And then here is my marble run. Here is the first time. And then here's the second time. So then here's the first direction change. Here's the uphill. Second direction change, third direction change, fourth, and then fifth right here. And there's a jump, and it stays in here where it stops. A real world connection would be like a Rube Goldberg machine, a slide, or like a mini playground for mice. I learned that it's really fun to build a marble track, and it's not that hard.
This is my marble track. It's pretty big. It looks like this, but so yeah, and it comes to a complete stop right there.
Our challenge was to make a marble set with cardboard that would be stable. It has to be longer than 2 feet. It has to also curve 5 times, and it has to go up once, and it has to come to a stop. It has to start from a stop position. What I did is I did this. So what I do, I just tested it out. I put the marble up here, goes down there, and it goes into here and comes to a stopped position.
A real world, like a thing that you could use in the real world that this could represent is like a chute or slide. And I learned that the marble is really heavy, so it needs a lot of support. And this is my video of me testing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is when it goes uphill, just like the slightest bit. And then right here, it stops right there. And so this is how I start it.
This is my marble challenge. The criteria and constraints is you must have at least 5 turns, start from a stop position, travel a minimum of 24 inches, must travel uphill at least once, must remain stable, must come to a stop position, and must be repeatable. The constraints are time, materials, money, and gravity. Here's my first attempt. Looks like it did all 5 turns and made it to the end.
I forgot to add to my marble track as well that I think it is repeatable. It just will take a lot of hard work and effort to repeat it.
Is my marble
Run thing that I made. So we were supposed to make a marble run, and the constraints were it had to at least be 24 inches, and it had to be changing directions 5 times, and had to go uphill at least once. And I'm here to demonstrate my super amazing marble course. It looks like this. We have a hill here, back and forth, and up a little hill made of a toilet paper tube. Then we have an end. So I made this out of paper plates and toilet paper tubes and a little bit of paper. So I learned that it's really hard to keep the little walls up because they were really flimsy. And I think this could be turned into some sort of like ping pong game or a roller coaster.
Let's demonstrate my successful test. Now it's time for the final thing to do, test it. I'm going to run my fancy blue marble down my course. Here we go.
The criteria is it must have an uphill and 5 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 5 turns of angle. And it also has the uphill, so I can show you that.
Okay, so I'm walking over to my marble course right now. Here is my marble course. The question we had to answer was, can you build a marble course? But it wasn't as easy as that. There were some criteria and constraints. Some of the constraints, the constraints were time, because if there wasn't a due date, then you would never have to get it done. And supplies, because you could only use whatever's in your house. The criteria was it had to run for at least 2 feet. It had to go uphill at least once. Had to change direction at least 5 times, and it had to have a fixed starting and ending point. My fixed starting point is the square right here. Fixed ending point is that tic-tac thing with tape over it. It goes up. Mine goes uphill right here, and then it definitely runs for longer than 2 feet. And it changes direction, I think 5 times. I counted this as 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times. And then it, of course, ends in that starting point. So now I'm going to show it to you, and here it goes. Come on! This thing was messed up. I'm going to try it again. There we go. Okay, I'll do it again just to make sure that it is repeatable. And there you go. That's my marble course. Thanks for watching.
Naja, and the problem I was trying to solve was to build a marble course, but there were some guidelines. Some of the criteria was that it had to have at least 5 changes in direction and 1 uphill. It also had to start and end in a stop position. Some of the constraints were time. There was a due date and you couldn't go over the due date. Also materials, you couldn't use anything that you didn't have in your house. Something that I learned from this project was that if you make your tower or like the base too steep, it won't make it uphill because it'll just get trapped in between the V from your base to the uphill. And this would be very helpful if you want to have a demonstration of maybe like a slide or like a water slide at a water park. And so yeah, let's see it in action. So there's the start, and it starts from a stop position. Then it goes down this way. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 changes in direction. Then there's the uphill, and then it's going to end in a stop position down there. And it ended in the stop position.
The problem was that we had to build a marble course, and the criteria were that it had to change directions 5 times and go uphill once. Some of the constraints were that we had to do it in a certain amount of time, and we can only use everything at our house.